Hello everyone and welcome you all to this online class of science with me. My name is Abhishek Mazumdar and I am going to complete the first part of nutrition in plant from class 7 NCERT. So first of all, the introduction, where we can see we are going to complete these topics, that is nutrients, then autotrophs and heterotrophs, then the mode of nutrition in plants, then the photosynthesis, which is the ultimate food making process, as well as about the leaves and roots, then in details about the vessels and stomata, then the chlorophyll, as and at last about the plants which are not green in color. Let's see. First of all, come to the nutrients, that what the nutrients is. As you have already read in class 6 about the food, that what the food is, it is the essential part of our body that gives us what energy for our development, growth, reproduction and all, right? You have already learned this thing in class 6. So what it actually have, it contains so many of components like the carbohydrate, protein, fat and vitamins and minerals. Here you can see the diagram of the nutrients, that is these all combinedly known as what? Nutrients. So many foods that we can see in different components of the food, like the bread, rice are in carbohydrates, which are rich in carbohydrates, as well as vegetables are rich in vitamins and minerals, right? As well as the milk and other oily products which are rich in protein and lipids. The lipids contains here what? Oil, right? Lipid means oil. So now come to the next slide, that is what is autotrophs and heterotrophs. As you all have read, that we human beings cannot make our own food, whereas the plant can prepare their food. And the term auto means what? Self, whereas trophs means nourishment, and the hetero means dependent, right? So those who can nourish themselves come under the term autotrophs, okay? And nourish means those who can provide food to themselves by their own. So obviously the plant comes under what? Autotrophs. And as we human beings and the other animals cannot feed us our own food, cannot produce the food by ourselves, so we comes under what? Heterotrophs. Okay, remember that all the other animals we comes under what? Heterotrophs, right? Then what is the mode of nutrition then? Actually, the nutrition is the mode of intaking the food and its utilization by the body. Means what? Nutrition. And we can understand the nutrition by the following chart. Here, with the help of chart, nutrition is divided into two parts, that is the autotrophic mode of nutrition and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. In the autotrophic mode of nutrition, as all the autotrophs come under this, like the green plants and blue-green algae, this comes under what? Autotrophs, because they can prepare their own food. And as we human beings, as the other animals, cannot produce our own food, so we comes under what? Heterotrophs, and thus we shows the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. It is also subdivided into many parts, like the saprophyte, as well as saprophytic mode of nutrition, parasitic mode of nutrition and holozoic mode of nutrition. Man, dog, amoeba, we all come under what? Holozoic mode of nutrition, as well as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Whereas the parasite and saprotroph are some different heterotrophic mode of nutrition. We will discuss this later in different slides, okay? Now come to the next slide, that we will read now about the photosynthesis in details. For the photosynthesis, what we need, that is what the plant need, that is the leaves, which are what? For kitchen and the food factory of the plant, as well as they need the roots, which absorb the water and minerals from the soil. They also have the vessels, which are the pipe-like structure, which is divided into two parts, that is xylem and phloem, and they transport what? Raw materials. And the another important or the essential part is the stomata of the plant, which are the pores in the leaves, and they allow the movement of what? Gases. And next, and the utmost part is the chlorophyll, that is about the green pigment which are present inside the plant, okay? So to know about these things, let's have the full look on the leaves. As the leaves are known as what? Food factory of the plant, because they have what? Chloroplast or the chlorophyll. These chlorophyll absorb the sun ray or the sunlight, okay? And those chlorophyll uses those energy to produce the food, and that's why the leaves which have the chlorophyll, which are green in pigment, always remember chlorophylls are what? They are green in pigment. Here you can see the diagram which is green in color. It is the zoom diagram of the chloroplast, right? Also, another picture we have about the roots, in which if we can zoom out the roots, so we can see, zoom in the roots, so we can see the roots are insided in the soil, which already have the air and water inside the soil. So these roots what they used to absorb the water and the minerals from the soil and transport them to the different part of the plants. Okay, now come to the another part. As when the roots are absorbing those soil, those water and minerals, so they are transporting those with the help of what? Vessels. And vessels are what? Vessels are pipes like structure which are present inside the plant throughout the stem and root, branches and leaves, and they are divided into two parts, that is the xylem and phloem. And xylem do what? Xylem transfer only the water and mineral from the roots to the leaves, and phloem is the another vessels which only transfer the food, that is the prepared food inside the leaves, and it transferred the food and water from the leaves to the different part of the body of the plant, right? Here you can see the diagram of the xylem and it is the phloem. Here with the help of this you can see that the xylem is only unidirectional, that is it is only absorbing the water and minerals, and whereas the phloem is bidirectional, that is it is also absorbing as well as releasing the food particles and as well as the water to the different part of the plant. Understood? Now come to the next slide about the stomata. As we have already read about, for the photosynthesis we need what? Stomata. And what are the stomatas? These are the pores which are present inside the leaves, which is surrounded by what? Guard cell. Here if you can see, that is the stomata are of two different shapes, that is one is open stomata and another is closed stomata. It have so many of part in which it have the guard cell, and these guard cell do what? These used to make the two structure, that is the closing and the opening of the stomata. And stomata do what? These allow the passage of gases like the carbon dioxide and the oxygen in the atmosphere and inside the plant. So obviously if it is elaborated or the zoom diagram of the stomata, so stomatas are present inside the leaves like this. So they used to do what? They used to allow the transfer of the gases which are essential for the making of the food in the photosynthesis, isn't it? So here ultimately we come to the photosynthesis, that what is photosynthesis? That is the green plant make food by intaking some raw materials like the carbon dioxide with the help of the stomata, as you have already read, water and minerals from the soil in presence of what? Sunlight, with the help of chlorophyll, right? With the help of chlorophyll they do what? They produces the food that is in the form of carbohydrate, and they releases what? Oxygen. So here with the help of this complete diagram you can see the plant is absorbing the carbon dioxide, water and minerals from the ground, and they are releasing what? Oxygen as a byproduct, and they are producing what? Food, that is in term of carbohydrate or sugar, right? Carbohydrate, that is C6H12O6. okay. So what will be the ultimate equation of the photosynthesis? For the ultimate equation it will be like carbon dioxide which is absorbed from the atmosphere as well as the water and minerals, then plant will have what? Sunlight, and in presence of the chlorophyll they will produce what? C6H12O6, that is the carbohydrate O6, and they will also have what? Oxygen, which will they release inside the atmosphere again, and which is helpful for us or all other organisms other than plant, right? This as you all know that oxygen is our essential gas, as we used to intake the oxygen, isn't it? So this is all about the photosynthesis. Now come to the next part, that what will happen to those plants which are not green in color. So leaves other than green also have what? Chlorophyll, and they do what? Because of the other pigments like the red, brown and blue pigments or any other pigments which used to mark the green color, वो green color को ढक देते हैं, and that's why the leaves shows different types of colors. But they also do what? They also do photosynthesis, they also produce their own food. Some of the examples of those plants are peacock fern, dark foliage, pink caladium as well as the white star caladium. So this is the end of our first part. Let's have a look on some practice question. Here this will be the practice question, and I hope that you all will do these questions. First question is that the lipid in the component of food is what? It is the fat, as you have already read. Then the xylem vessels in the plants do what? They used to transport the water and mineral from the soil to the leaves, right? And the stomata is what? Stomata used to transport the carbon dioxide, right, to the different part of the plant or the leaves. And here the other gases, which are nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide and water, these are not the gases. Actually plant only takes the carbon dioxide and release the oxygen, as well as it takes oxygen and releases the carbon dioxide. This is the only two gases which is used in the transportation of the plants with the help of the stomata, right? So this is the end of our first part of this chapter. Stay tuned, and thank you, and God bless you all.